about how getting and staying curious and becoming a seeker can not only help you solve your problems, but can also drastically improve your life. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I post videos on self-empowerment and simple ways to improve your life. So if you're interested in more inspirational and motivational content that can help in different areas of your life, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. If you like the video, don't forget to like the video. That will help me share my message with others. All right, so let's get into it. Today I'm going to talk about how becoming a seeker and staying curious can help you improve your life. I remember a pivotal moment in my life where I decided, okay, it's time to make some changes. There have actually been a lot of these moments, but this was a big one. I was 26 or 27 years old, and my boyfriend at the time was about to break up with me. We were in love with each other. He was a wonderful guy with the best of intentions and super sweet. But I had a lot of inner pain, a lot that I was struggling with, and I didn't know where it was coming from or how to deal with it. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, things happen for a reason, but I was not able to save the relationship. And so when it ended, I found myself at a pretty big low, and I wasn't functioning well, and I had to do something. I decided that if I was ever going to be able to have a healthy relationship, and also just to be able to be good to those around me, my friends and my colleagues, which I often wasn't, because I just wasn't in a good place, that I was going to have to work on myself. So began my quest for self-improvement. It's been a long journey, but along the way I learned that what I was doing way back then was projecting, which is what we do. We project onto others how we feel about ourselves, whether we're in a positive mindset or a negative mindset. So if we're filled with love and hope and excitement and positive attitude, then that's how we tend to see others. And when we're not feeling good about ourselves, we tend to create a lot of disruption in our lives because this is how we're seeing the world. I've learned so much since then, and I've never been happier, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So I love sharing what I've learned if it can help someone else. And I've learned that there are effective ways to do things and communicate to get the results that we want. And there are also ineffective ways that can bring us more emotional pain. So how can we begin to improve certain areas in our lives that are holding us back? We can get curious. Start paying attention to things that you're thinking about, that you're curious about, that you want to learn more about, and also the things that bother you. The more curious you get about what it is that's really bothering you and start to dig for solutions, research. These days we have so much knowledge readily available to us. We can get the answers we need in a quick Google search that can be life-changing, and I'll share an example of that in a moment. Maybe if you like YouTube like I do, maybe you search for something in YouTube that you're looking for. Maybe the first video that comes up resonates, maybe it doesn't, but then maybe another one pops into your feed. What happens in life, if you haven't noticed, start paying attention, is that we ultimately get bumped in the direction that is meant for us. As long as we're moving, that's one of the tricks. We have to be moving. We have to get started. We don't have to know what the finish line is going to look like, but we have to get started so that we see the first step, and then when the next step shows up, we'll know and we'll take it. Well, the same thing can happen when we're trying to solve a problem. We don't know how to solve it yet, so we just get started, just get curious. Eventually, we're going to stumble upon the answer, what it is we're looking for. And I have implemented this process so many times about getting curious and finding the solution and drastically improving my life that I have now instilled so much confidence in myself that I know whenever there's something that is bothering me or that I don't like or that I want to learn about or change, I know I'm going to find the solution, and I always do. So this process of getting curious can instill huge self-empowerment because you're taking responsibility to change your life. And then you do, and then you trust yourself that you'll be able to continue doing that. Okay, so here's my first example. So back when I was in my early 20s, I worked out like I do now, the same amount that I do now, not the same way, but at the time I ran, and I'm still a runner. These days I mix it up with strength training and yoga, but back then I didn't have as much knowledge as I do now about fitness. So I ran long runs every day, long distance runs, 6 miles, 8 miles, sometimes 10 miles, sometimes even more. And I thought that I was eating healthy, but I didn't know how to eat for my body. And I didn't know that I didn't know that. But anyway, I was working out every single day, and I was 30 pounds heavier than I am right now. I did not feel good in my body. I did not like how I fit into my clothes. I didn't feel comfortable. Actually, at the time, I was also struggling with or suffering from irritable bowel syndrome. So that was awful. Sometimes I wouldn't even be able to go to the bathroom for a week. Very uncomfortable and frustrating, as you can imagine. And I really wasn't getting any help, from my doctor. So I didn't know what to do about the IBS, but I did begin researching how I could lose weight. So back then, this was during the time of the low-fat, fat-free, high-carb diet phase. That's what everybody was doing, and that's what I was doing. While that may work very well for some people, it didn't work well for me. So I started researching, and in my research, I came across the book, Eat Right for Your Blood Type, the Blood Type Diet book. And this book has changed my life. If you know me, you've likely heard me talk about it because it has helped me to feel so good. And I love feeling good. I love helping others feel good. So I share, what I know. So different blood types for me, I happen to be blood type O, which is the caveman diet, the oldest blood type. So the book talks about how basically our digestive tracts have not developed much beyond that of the days of our ancestors. And so what did cavemen and women have available to eat? Well, no dairy, no grains. They had meat. One time I actually tried a vegetarian diet. This book helped me understand why a vegetarian diet didn't work well for me. I need red meat, and I feel best when I'm eating meat. I went to the doctor, and she said, well, you've gained 10 pounds since I last saw you. What did you start doing differently 10 months ago? And I thought, I'm going to eat a chicken sandwich right now. So I went back to eating meat, which worked well for me. Again, not everybody, but I learned a lot from this book. And whenever I notice something feels off in my body, if I feel like bloated or uncomfortable, or I'm starting to gain weight again, I'll go back and reference the book. And I always notice something in there, either learn something new that I hadn't picked up on the first time, or I see that I've implemented something back into my diet that I'm do better avoiding. And instantly I'll feel better once I adhere, more closely to the diet. So that's one example. I've been a big believer on healing through nutrition, which is Eastern-based medicine, for a long time now. So I did a search recently when my complexion was becoming increasingly worse. I was really frustrated with it. I was using this super expensive skin regimen that actually only seemed to be making it worse, but my cheeks were red and dry and broken out. Anyway, one night I ate a salad for dinner, and I like spicy food. I had gotten into the habit of eating a lot of hot sauce on everything. And I had gotten this super spicy mustard, and I make my own salad dressing, so I put that in the salad. After I ate my salad, my face erupted with redness and breakouts almost instantly, and I was freaking out. So I got online, I did a Google search. This is my story about how a quick Google search can change your life. And I Googled Eastern medicine and clear skin or something like that. And I discovered that heat in the body can show up on the face. I had been eating more and more hot sauce, and the hotter my hot sauce got, the worse my complexion got. So I cut the hot sauce immediately. I don't miss it at all. My skin is still clearing up, but it is, oh my God, 100 times better than it was. And you know how we feel about ourselves when we look in the mirror matters. So yes, this Google search changed my life. I implemented this process of staying curious and trusting that I'm going to find the answer. Also recently in publishing my first book. So I've been a writer my whole life, and I'm also a doer and an achiever. So I do typically finish what I start. Books, however, that's a different story. This was probably my third book I had started, because what happens when you write a book, if you don't have a process, is you can quickly forget, what you wrote already, and then you kind of stop yourself before you're able to get started, because each time you sit down to write, well, you have to go back and check, what you already wrote. So at this time, I was about 40 pages into my manuscript, and I was just feeling overwhelmed. The creative content was there and kept coming, but I didn't remember what I had written, and anyhow, I knew I needed a process, so I started researching. And I did find myself kind of going down into a rabbit hole, not turning up the information I was needing, and I did observe quickly that I was wasting time. So I stopped, and I just trusted, hey, you're going to find the answer. And I did. It came to me in my YouTube feed. I know a lot of us don't love the seemingly invasive way advertising works these days, but I actually do love it, because how else are the advertisers going to reach me if they don't know what I'm looking for? So I was listening to a motivational video, some content that I'll typically listen to, and then an ad for a webinar popped up into my feed for Self-Publishing School. That's the program I ended up using to help me get a process down for writing my book. The webinar shared some valuable information, so then I decided to book a call and learn more about it, and I decided to invest in the program. And for me, it worked great. There's other programs out there too that now keep coming up in my YouTube feed. But now I have a process. I published my book, and I'm currently on the second draft of my second book. So I love advertising. Bring me what I'm looking for. I love learning. I am on a constant quest to learn more. Anything that I want to improve, and anything that I'm curious about. So I definitely encourage you, if there's something that you don't like, something that you're frustrated with, something that you want to improve or fix, or even something that you're curious about, start searching. Do a Google search, type it into YouTube, and then keep going with it. If you find one influencer or one source of videos that you find helpful, keep going with more and more and more. What ends up happening, in addition to the tremendous self-improvement, increased happiness, is that oftentimes we will discover a new direction. When we get curious about something, there's a reason for that, and we may not see the reason right then, but we're going to uncover it, discover it, the further and deeper we go down our path. So definitely move into your curiosity and keep going with it. These next couple examples are for the ladies. They can definitely help guys too. I just don't know if you guys would be as interested. So I'm constantly learning, and I even learned a few new things about myself just last week by listening to a couple other awesome ladies' YouTube channels that I happened to stumble. Their channels kind of stumbled and popped up in my feed, so I clicked on it. It sounded interesting. Jill's, I will leave the link to her channel in my description in case you want to check it out, ladies. I love her. She's fantastic. She talks about masculine and feminine energy, which we all have, whether we're men or women, we all have both. And it is very important to have a healthy balance of both. So I learned in her videos that sometimes I can let my masculine energy, that's the doer, achiever, which I have a lot of that, take over. And it can cause problems. It can cause problems in relationships. I even see, looking back, how it caused problems maybe in my last job. But I thought, why did nobody tell me this? But see, there's an example. You stumble upon the answers that you're looking for, even if you don't know that you're looking for them. But her information has helped me tremendously, made a big difference in just a week for me. So anyway, thank you, Jills. Something else that I'm going to leave in the description for the ladies is Daily Om Face Yoga. So I've been doing yoga for 15 years. It has been tremendous for my body. I didn't know it could also be tremendous for my face. So as a woman in her early 40s who's used to looking younger than I am, I was not very happy when I noticed some changes in my face over the last couple of years. And having implemented this process so many times of, fixing or improving, what I want to improve, I started research. I said, there's no way that this is happening just yet. Also, I'm only scared of two things in the world, one of which is going to the doctor. So voluntary procedures, no, those are not for me. I will have to grow old gracefully, but not today. Daily Om Face Yoga. So I searched natural remedies for anti-aging natural remedies, something like that. And this Daily Om Face Yoga popped up. It is amazing. The woman on there in the video, she shares these simple exercises that they just take seconds, and they improve blood circulation in your face and tighten and tone it. I noticed a difference day one. I really did. And then I do them every day. It takes seconds. I do it while I'm making my coffee in the morning. Super easy. Anyhow, changed my life. When I look in the mirror, I'm much happier with what I see. So ladies, check out Daily Om Face Yoga. I don't want the video to get too long, so I haven't even had time to go into the different resources, books, speakers, concepts that I've learned that actually made probably the biggest impact on my life, because they helped me to heal the depression and the anxiety attacks that I used to have. I do think I've got my point across, which is you have the power to improve your life. Self-empowerment is the greatest kind of empowerment. When we take responsibility for ourselves, for the things that we want to improve upon, and then we do we realize just how powerful we are. We can create the life that we want for ourselves. We can make the changes that we want for ourselves to live happier lives. And then we also have a more positive outlook. And then what happens is we start to draw the things that we want toward us like magnets without having to put as much effort out. So that's it for this video. I hope that it helped you. Please share a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you liked the video, remember to like and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thanks for watching.